Hello and welcome to the Evergreen Client Growth Blueprint. If you have made it this far, you already went through the 7 steps on how to create cold leads into warm leads with as little as $5. Now, if you want to attract more clients and grow your list quicker, which we're going to go over how to build a list in this next section, you want to obviously spend more than $5. But as you start making money and you get a job and you get, let's say, $200-300 or even $100, you want to allocate some of that money and reinvest it into growing your list. And I'll explain a little bit further into this in this section. This is where your business will start flourishing, where you can scale it as high as you want to, where to the point where you could actually hire people to work for you. Now, no, it's not going to happen overnight. This is not an overnight get rich quick scheme. Unfortunately, you will have to put some work to grow your list, but so does every other successful business out there. And once again, we'll go over into a little bit of the details as to how to do that. But congratulations, welcome, and I'm not going to waste your time. Let's go straight into it. In this part of the method, we will be going over the Evergreen Client Growth Blueprint. We're going to discuss a little bit about the method. We're going to go over some short history as to how this method came about, why is it so powerful, and why it's the easiest, simplest way for beginners and people in large corporations to grow their business using this simple method. I will also share some tips how you can apply this to your business starting as soon as today. We will go over how large corporations have been using this for decades and are very successful and are still able to scale and grow dramatically with the simple basic method. We'll find out how to stop relying on ads alone so that whenever you go through that slow period, you can start using your list to target and have clients year round. And finally, we're going to go over how to use referrals so you can have your clients promote your business and your service to their friends and family. Some of the benefits that you will start seeing once you have this list are creating clients without ads alone. To be able to generate leads off your list, it becomes quite easy with the methods that you're about to learn in this course. As of right now, I don't have the largest list, but I have hundreds of people in my list, and I can tell you that if I message all of them, I cannot serve them all at the same time. What I do personally, I break down my list and I start targeting 25 people at a time. This way it can be a little bit more manageable and I can schedule people that I can actually work with. Usually if you will message about 25 people, I personally get about roughly anywhere from 3 to 6 replies. And out of those 3 to 6 replies, I'll probably get about 3 to 4 jobs. That's usually the math for me. It's not always the case. It varies. Last time I sent 4 and I got 3 replies and 3 jobs. I've actually sent more and gotten very little work. So a lot of it does depend in the time of year for my business, but I will definitely test the waters here and not message all your lists all at once. By having this list, like I mentioned earlier, you'll be able to target your specific audience during the slow seasons and offer promotions, offer discounts, and just still stay in front of mind. You can offer your services. By having a list, and the more people you have on your list, the more you can increase your sales. For example, if your list is growing, if you have your ads running and you're able to come into contact with, if I post once a week at $5, usually I'm able to come across around 20 people roughly that I can add to my list monthly. If I want to increase this number, I just increase the ads. The more often I put ads, the more people that reach out to me, the more people that I have to put on my list, so I can target them in the future, even if I wasn't able to serve them the very first time. By having a list, you'll also be able to enhance your brand visibility and recognition by retargeting these people. We're going to go a little bit over out of sight, out of mind, and how this applies to your business. You'll also be able to target and do some research by having a list. You can ask questions that people do respond. Not all of them at all times, but you'll find out who are the people you can actually ask questions to do your research on your list. You'll be able to improve your customer loyalty because you'll be able to reach out to them on a regular basis and they'll be more front of mind. In addition to that, you'll have more opportunities to upsell other products or other service that you have. You'll be able to get some really valuable insights when it comes to having a list, because once again, you can ask questions, you can follow up, you can survey your clients, and those things are very powerful in the long run for your business. You'll also be able to strengthen your business reputation and credibility by constantly touching base with them, following up with them, and making sure that everything you're doing is something that satisfies them. And if it doesn't, and you listen quite clearly, then you'll be able to fine tune your business so that it can meet the needs of your clientele, and the next clients in the future will definitely benefit from it and give you more referrals. In addition to that, you will be able to meet people you can partner up with so that you can expand your business. There are certain services that I did not offer before. When I first started doing handyman, I did not offer a lot of electrician, just very basic stuff. So I came across and I partnered up with an electrician, and also came across and touch base with a plumber, so that if I get those jobs that those services I don't offer, we're able to partner up. Either we'll kick off a commission on the lead, or we'll partner up together and I'll learn a new trade, which is very powerful. And we'll talk a little bit about referrals. Referrals are very powerful, once again, because you don't have to pay for ads and they're free, but you do have, well, not necessarily free, because you do have to give a good incentive to the people that give you a referral if you want them to refer you. And you'll be able to sustain business growth. If you're growing steadily at 20 people per month, by the end of the year, you have well over 100 people that you can add to your list. Once again, you can place more ads to grow this quicker. And the more people that are on your list, if you have 1,000 people on your list, and let's just suppose that you send them all an email, even though you wouldn't, but let's say you send them all a message like, hello, and you keep them in front of mind and they each need your service, even if only 2% of the people reach back to you, that's enough work to really feed your family for a month. So the more people you have in your list, the higher it is for you to get more business, to the point that you can actually scale it. Because once you get busy, you can hire an assistant. Once you have that assistant, you can take them with you with jobs, introduce them to other people, train them. And when you get busy, you can send him by himself. Just let the client know, and the payment will be sent directly to you through either I use everything, to be honest with you. I use Cash App, Venmo, Zelle transfer, checks, wire transfers. And you can then pay you can then pay your assistant with that money, and you can have them take care of a specific city or specific section of that city, and you can actually hire more people to do other sections of a city as your business grows, as you start getting more demand, and you cannot be in so many places at once. So a little bit about marketing and how this method came about. To the best of our knowledge, based on all the research that I did, and we're not going deep into medieval times or Egyptian times once again, just in 1872, Aaron Montgomery Ward started his catalog, which is right here to the right. It was a very small catalog at the beginning. And back then in 1872, they did not have transportation as well as we have it today. Everything was pretty much moved through trains. And it was really hard to go door to door to communicate with people. But what he found that was easier was sending out these brochures. And he became so successful that, sure enough, other companies started copying him. And there was born mail marketing, where you start sending mail to advertise your products and service. Prior to that, it was a lot of door-to-door marketing, and it was very limited. You couldn't really reach that many people. But Montgomery Ward really set a standard. He became so successful that other companies like Sears started copying him and creating their own catalogs that still exist to today. And this is a really good, simple method. Then by 1900, phone marketing, because the phone started getting more popular, so people started picking up the phone. But it wasn't until 1950 when they started creating centers where all they were doing is just massive phone marketing. They were calling people and just trying to sell products, pushing products. Shortly after, they had television marketing, where they had late at nights. I don't know if you ever stood up late at nights and just watched. Maybe it was me. I don't know if I'm giving away my age, but there was people selling things through TV where you could buy this brochures. You could buy pretty much anything. Anything people will buy, jewelry. They'll sell couches, sofas, beds. Well, you name it. Anything through TV. And after the internet got popular towards the 1971. Thompson, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, I apologize, started email marketing, and email marketing blew up. And as of right now, it's still really, really popular. We're in 2024 as of the recording of this video. Email marketing still is powerful till today. So many companies are using it. According to Russell Brunson, who is a very strong, wise marketer, in my opinion, I read all his books. He is great. I highly recommend you check him out. if you have, for each person that you have in your list, if you know how to work your list properly, you should be able to get $1 a month per person, which means if you have 10,000 people on your list, you should be able to make $10,000 a month. If you have 100,000 people in your list, you should be able to make $100,000 a month. If you have 1 million people on your list, you should be able to make $1 million a month if you learn how to strategize and use your target your list correctly. Now, I'm not sure how he came about these numbers, but I thought it was pretty amazing. And he breaks down in one of his books exactly how he came up with his numbers, but it's pretty interesting to know. But now we have the more modern way marketing, are actually mobile marketing, where people are calling your cell phone directly. Because now almost everyone has a phone, and even a lot of third world countries, people have a lot of phones now. And the most modern way of marketing to today that I know of is text marketing, SMS marketing, and that is my favorite way of marketing. And we'll go a little bit more into that. That is my favorite way of reaching and communicating with my clients, because when I'm busy, I can not always pick up the phone, but I can always send a quick text. So what is this? This is the main website right here. Ross is on the left side. We have Sierra in the middle. To the right over here, we have TJ, bottom right, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and there's 5 big corporations. And what is the first thing that pops up when you go into their main website? After a few seconds, most of them will pop up a quick form to capture your information. And what does this tell you? They are building their list by doing so. A lot of them will offer you incentives like free shipping. There's a lot of different things, different ways that they strategize to get your information. But all these large corporations from Amazon, Google, Best Buy are using this exact same method that you are learning right now. In addition to creating information, they also have referral programs. And once again, it's the exact same system that they're using through these referral programs. Sephora, Amazon, Target, North Face, Dunkin' Donuts, Marriott, other big corporations have been using this same method for decades to grow their business by growing their list so they can retarget their list. So what do these companies do to grow their list? Well, just like I showed you in the previous slides, they give incentives to grow a list. But to be honest with you, I've never really given an incentive to grow my list. I'll go a little bit more as to how I obtain this information, which is quite simple for my business. But we'll go into that in a few more minutes. But if you know anything about Facebook purchasing Instagram, at the time Facebook purchased Instagram, Instagram had 30 million users, and Facebook paid $1 billion for Instagram. And the reason why Facebook paid $1,000 million, $1 billion, is because of the 30 million people that they can retarget. It was their list. Their list is why they were able to get, because now they had, Facebook does a lot of marketing, a lot of advertising. And now they had 30 million new eyeballs that they were able to. In addition to that, Facebook also purchased WhatsApp when they had 450 million users. And what they're buying here is not the company itself, but they're buying their leads and they're buying their list. They're creating big lists so they can retarget them, and they make billions and billions of dollars. As of 2023, which is last year, today's 2024, as at the time of this recording, Facebook reported that they made $134 billion US dollars. 1 year alone. In 2022, Facebook made 117, almost $118 billion. And that's because their list is so huge that even if they just make a small percentage out of each list, I mean, Facebook has the majority of the world's on Facebook, to be honest with you. It's a big percentage of people, and a lot of them are active users. So that's a really good platform where they can actually utilize the list, and they are really good at what they do because the numbers don't lie. So what does all this have to do with business? How does it even matter to you? So what is the one thing that print marketing, telephone marketing, email marketing, mobile marketing, SMS marketing have in common? With all these methods, they can actually retarget their clients. The gold is in the follow-up. If you haven't heard that saying, the gold is in the follow-up, I've made tons of videos on it. People don't always buy on the first time nowadays. You have to target people over and over again. If you ever join an email list to one of these big corporations, you will find that you're not only going to get one email, you're going to get another one the next day, the following day, the next day, next week, and you start getting emails after email after email. Now, why do these big, credible companies that have been around for decades do this? Because it works. And the goal is in the follow-up. You have to follow up with people multiple times to be able to get that their business. Have you ever heard that site I've heard the term out of sight, out of mind. I'll explain a little bit more about it in the following slide. But basically what it means is if you don't retarget people, they will forget about you. So why is building a list so important? And why do you want to be in people's site? Why do you want to mind? The average human mind has approximately 62 thoughts per day. That's according to the best modern research that we have today. And I read plenty of studies, and they all have a very similar number. So to the best of our knowledge, 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day is what we have. This is because we can think on multiple levels, and I'll explain how this applies to your business shortly. Which means that you can be driving this car, you can be thinking about what you're having for dinner. You could still be scanning the road to make sure that nobody is going to get into your lane, so you don't get you don't get hit. You can also be thinking of your next exit, and at the same time, you could be thinking of an argument or something that happened earlier that day. So we have multiple thoughts going on at once. This is how we're able to have so many thoughts per day. And I just gave you the example right now beforehand. I kind of went a little bit too fast without explaining, so I'm gonna take it back one step real quick about having so many thoughts per day. If you go back and you think about how many people you met last year, and you see how many of those people you were able to retain in your mind, it is probably a very small percentage. If you go back to how many people you met the last decade, there's very far and few in between. So if you offer a service and you gave the service to someone, they are a hot lead because people would normally go back and rather buy from a person they know than from a stranger if you gave them good service. So you do not want to fall out of sight. You do not want to be out of this inevitable that you will fall out of sight and mind if you don't have a list that you can retarget over and over again. And this is why these big corporations are sending you email after email after email, because even if you don't know, but you see their company and their logo, you're still in sight, you're still in mind, you're still seeing Best Buy, you're still seeing Target, you're still seeing Walmart. So whenever you need something else, where are you going to go get it? You're going to subconscious mind, and the closest things that are going to be there is the ones that you're going to get the information, because that's the way that we operate. If I were to ask you what was your first today, you'll probably be able to answer me that quite quickly because it just happened this morning. If I were to ask you what was your first meal yesterday, it might take you 2 to 3 times longer, but most people can reply. Now, if I were to ask you what was your first meal 3 days ago, it can get a little bit difficult for some people. It will take a lot longer for sure than the very first day, but most people will reply. Now, if I go back to 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, it becomes almost impossible unless you're eating the same thing every single day. Most people would not know what they had. And that's because as we're getting more thoughts into our mind, according to the best of our knowledge, it's 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. A lot of them are repeated thoughts. We are creatures of habit, but we're still left with hundreds of thousands of thoughts by the end of the week. So the cerebral cortex, in order to stress itself, it starts pushing information back to the subconscious mind. And where you're pulling out information from your subconscious mind, usually it'll search whatever's closest, and then it go further back and further back. And if you stay in sight and more in mind, if you say out of sight, then you'll be out of mind. Hence the term out of sight, out of mind. So by having a list and touching base with them once a week, once a month, I apologize. That's normally what I do, once a month. Some people I do twice a month. Some people I'll skip a month. It really depends on my list and the individual. You have to test that out for yourself. But every time you touch base with them, even if they don't open your text, even if they don't reply, they still saw your service. You still made a connection and you're still in their mind. So next time somebody needs a handyman and I send them a text 3 days ago, then they'll end up calling me. And how do I know this? Because I've been using this method for a long time. And it's inevitable. I send a text and usually I get very little response, but I do get leads. The numbers don't lie, and I always get leads. It's just using the simple method. People reply kindly and say, hi, thank you, how's everything going? Most will ignore you, but they still will see your text, just like those big emails that you get from these big corporations. You probably don't open half of them, but you still see their logo, you still see the company, and you still stay in mind. So next time you're looking to buy something, your subconscious mind is wired to go through the closest things that's in the mind. And that's how creating a list and retargeting them is so powerful. Even if they don't buy the first time, by retargeting next month, if they have a task that needs to be done that they have been procrastinating, you're pushing it forward to mind. And that's usually how I get a lot of business. Now that we've seen how big companies and become giants, become like Facebook, who started with a few million and now they're billions of users, this information is very powerful. You can utilize it towards growing your business. I mentioned it on a very small scale of growing it to like 20 people a month because I offer a service and I cannot really service so many people at the same time, especially some of my painting projects. They're more lucrative, but they do take a little. I'm painting a 1,200 square foot condominium, 2 bathrooms, including a garage. It'll take me a good, if I do it by myself, it's 10 but usually I hire help for this, but it'll still take a lot of my time. I know what I do, but you can grow your list more if you put more ads, if you get a little more aggressive with it. I live in a smaller town in Northville, Mass of now, but I'm from Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, the same ads will get you a lot more leads because there's a lot more people out there. And these ads, once again, are the ads that you create using the 7-step method that you learn through the AdVantage method, you'll be able to get a lot more return, a lot more people reaching out to you. But moving forward, every person that you come across your list, if it's someone that you feel comfortable working with, if it's someone that's a pain in the ass, delete them. Don't go back. The good thing about being a business owner is that you get to choose who you want to work for. If you don't like someone, I just simply don't call them back. If someone's not paying me what my time is worth, I just simply don't waste my time. I just completely delete them. When I was new and I did not know how to get clients, I used to take some really low ball jobs. I'm sure I mentioned it before, because I was scared and I had to pay my bills and I did not have any more fresh leads coming in. And they were coming in like so sporadically that it was hard to get rid of a lead. So if someone was paying me crappy money and I had nothing else, I will feel compelled to fulfill that job because once again, I needed to pay my bills. But having the AdVantage method, having a constant flow of clients, having a list that you can retarget will free you from that. You will not have to pay for no crappy ass leads through these big companies like Barks or Angie's List or Home Advisor, whatever they are, who are just setting leads, which is pretty lame because to create a work order is simple. If you Google how much does it cost to to clean a window, they'll pop up first because they have really good marketing. There's marketing, and they'll pop out first. The algorithm recognizes them, and they pay for ads. And to perform is free. No one's paying any money. So since it's free, they really don't have any commitment. And then they gather this information, and then they'll go and sell it to a contractor. Actually, they sell it to multiple contractors, anywhere from 5 to 10. I'm not sure what the numbers are, for a hefty price. And then when you contact them, the person was just looking for price. They're not looking to do business. They're just browsing, and you end up spending money. I spent all business. I did get leads and I did talk to people, but they were just browsing around. And people did not respond to email, text, even though they give you all that information. But once again, once you create the system, you don't need to purchase any leads, being 100% transparent. So who should go on your list? Former clients, like I mentioned, if you like and you enjoy working for a client, you definitely want your list. Referral sources. If they say, well, I have a friend that needs kind of work and you're able to get their information, you want to put them in your list. Personally, when that happens to me and somebody wants to refer someone to me, a little pro tip, I usually have them 3-way text us and have them introduce me, so that I'm not a stranger just showing up. All of a sudden, I'm attached to someone they know, and you're no longer a stranger, so you become a warm lead versus a cold lead, just randomly calling them. People who value your service. If you have someone that pays you top dollars and they don't really argue or try to nickel and dime you, definitely put them on your list. Clients you buy with. If you go to do a job or someone's asking about a potential job they want, and you feel really good about them, you feel really warm connecting, talking to them, listen to your gut, and you want to add them into your list. Clients that you enjoy working with, I mentioned that earlier. High value clients. What's a high value client? A high value client is, like I mentioned earlier, I think I'm double speaking here. It's someone who paying you top dollars for your services, and they don't even pay your price, and they'll give you pretty much whatever you need, and they're easy to work with. They're not a pain in the ass. New marketing industries that will have potential growth for you. For example, for my demand business, whenever I see like a new area where they're building like tons and tons and tons of houses, which they do in Michigan, with miles and miles of brand new houses being built, I would normally flyers, and I would go and I'll start promoting garage organization, garage shelving, and assembly, because I know that's really hot. So I start promoting in those areas. I start dropping flyers in those areas, and I get tons and tons of leads from that. And I'm only spending like $1 per flyer, maybe usually a little bit less. And I'm able to do a lot of business, and it's well worth that investment. Advertising is definitely the way to go, and providers like us, passing flyers is something that we don't really enjoy doing. But at the same time, if you do it and you strategize and you go to this new little sections of the cities where they're building, and they're actually getting new people. These are a lot of them are new to that city, and they're going to need your service, so they're looking for someone of that nature. So you might want to pass out a little magnet, a calendar, or something that will help your business stay in front of mind. So for every client or every lead, if I like working with them, I take their phone and their address. Usually, if they're a client of mine, I already have their phone number and I already have their address. Now, to get their email, you got to strategize a little bit. What I normally do, just a little pro tip, I say, where can I email your receipt? Or where can I email you an invoice? And that's how I'm able to obtain their email, their phone number, and their address at the same time. The next day, you always want to follow up with new leads so you can stay up front, so you can stay front of mind. Nice meeting you, pleasure doing work for you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Very simple, very basic, but you're able to turn them warm. You're able to keep them stay in front of mind in doing so. The following week or so, or even after 3 days, it's fair game. You can follow up and say, how was the job? If you feel that you did everything great. If you don't feel you did something perfect or you made a mistake, you might not want to do this. But if you feel you did everything right, then you want to follow up with them, see how was the job. And mostly, if they were nice people, they're going to give you a really good text. And that text, you want to screenshot that text and save it under a folder. You're going to call it testimonials. And you're going to use this for marketing on your, whenever you're creating ads, whenever you're creating flyers, you're going to use as many testimonials, the ones that actually make you look the best. And testimonials sell dramatically. Over 90% of people who are making a purchase will look for other reviews and other testimonials of what other people are saying of that product or service before they make that commitment. So you want to follow up with them. If you feel you did a great job, if you vibe really well with the client, definitely follow up with them and keep those testimonials close. After that, once a month, you don't want to exhaust your list. If you start sending them text like three times a week, it becomes kind of creepy. Once a month, I'll show exactly what excuses we can use to touch base with our leads to stay in front of mind. We have in the US, we have over 11 holidays that you can actually take advantage to say, hey, Happy New Year, or depending on your clientele, Happy Martin Luther King, George Washington birthday, we have Happy Memorial Day. We have all this 11, Independence Day, Labor Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Veterans Day, Columbus Day. These are just 11 examples of how you can just reach out to your list and say a quick hi, just to stay in front of mind. In addition to that, we also have, you can reach out to your list whenever you have any product sample. I started offering tune-ups, not tune-ups, I apologize, oil changes. And I started reaching out to my list. I just so you know, I added this to the service. I go to your house, I'll change your car oil. I normally charge anywhere from 100 to 200 for most luxury cars. Oil change, and it takes me about 30 minutes. So it's a really good service that I can implement because it's as simple as just screwing and screwing back and unscrewing the filter, and also the top to add the oil, and just a few more things. Yeah, as long as you have a basic knowledge, you can actually reset most cars from the oil change, which is pretty simple. Or you can YouTube it nowadays. If you have any special promotions, any special offers, it's a good time to also reach out to your list. If you have any news that's major that you want to share with them, you can use industry news to reach out to your list as well. Another option would be customer appreciation. You could just say a quick text. Thank you very much for doing business with me in the past. Here at blah, 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 your company's name. We're super grateful to have you as a services. You gave us a call, or something as simple as that. You can get a little more creative than that. You can actually use ChatGPT for a lot of the responses. I highly recommend you play with that a little. You could just email them to check in, everything going. You can say, hope you had a wonderful weekend, or you can use any cues depending what it is, but little check-ins are always a good way of touching base with your regular customers. Feedback requests, we mentioned that earlier. If you want to get feedback, if you feel you did a good job, always ask back for feedback, especially from the people that are nice, because some people are just nice. And that's just 100% normal. I am super nice. With anyone that does work, I'm super grateful, and I will always give them good positive feedback. And you could then again screenshot that, open a folder, and just keep all your referrals, keep all your comments, positive feedback, and use them as referrals. Not referrals, use them as testimonials. I apologize. If you happen to get their anniversary, or if you're open and comfortable enough to ask the year, but people are pretty comfortable giving you the month and the day they were born. The year is something that is irrelevant. We don't need it. If some people are uncomfortable with it, so I wouldn't even waste my time with it. But a happy birthday goes a long, long, long way. If you happen to do a job for them and they say, we're celebrating our anniversary, or this weekend is my daughter's birthday, or things like that, you want to log those things under your notes because you're going to use that to retarget them in the future. You can set reminders so that you can actually just send them that happy birthday, happy anniversary. And once again, these things will go a long way. All of a sudden, you're not just a person doing work for them. You get closer and you're jumping into a different category of friendship where people trust you and value you a lot more than just hiring a stranger. Referral requests. You can always say, I have a promotion going on right now, 25% off, 30, 40% off, or whatever it may be of a specific service for every referral that we get. And once again, when you're getting a referral, you want a three-way communication if possible. If not, then just call them directly, be super friendly, and you can say, so-and-so, give me your number. But if you can get a three-way call, it's a lot more easier to start a conversation from my personal experience. If you want to update any services that you had, like I mentioned earlier, when I started adding oil changes, I completely just set my list, everyone that I knew, because some people have not just one car nowadays. The husband has a car, the wife has a car, and the kid has a car. So if I go and I service all three cars, I'm not commuting too far, and I'm actually end up pocketing some really good money. And just two of those families that I do in one day can mean a lot of money for me. And there's obviously season's greetings, and you can just send also happy summer, happy winter, happy spring, happy fall. So there's around over about 25 reasons to contact your list and to stay in front of mind. We have this list and you want to continue to grow it. You want to grow it as fast as possible. The faster you grow it, the more chances there are of having more customers. Because let's say you have 100 people on your list and you're able to get business from 5%. That's a pretty good amount of business that you can retarget every month. But you can continue to grow that list to 200, 300, 400. I haven't counted recently, but I know it keeps growing more and more every month. If I lived in a city like Los Angeles, I know I'll be growing it at a faster state. But the truth is, I am comfortable where I am. I don't need to grow it as much as I want. I usually stop taking work once a Tuesday or Wednesday comes along because I'm broke for all the way for most of the week. I don't need to. I'm just lucky that I'm blessed that I have enough business. And that's exactly how I am able to retarget people and get sales like the one I showed you earlier. If you look at the data for Allison and Jeff, if you saw my previous video of a couple, and they hired me to do some touch-ups and painting on their house. And this is on June 26th. I target them once a month, and they didn't rehire me again until September the 1st. Actually, no, they hired me before September 1st, but they paid me September 1st. And it was all through retargeting. I kept sending them happy every month, once a month, I was retargeting them. And they gave me the first time 750. I actually had a job before that, but anyways, it's not here, so I wasn't able to show it. I made $1,200 before this from them. I could not find the transaction. And then the second time they hired me, it was 3,500. And that's kind of what you do with all your clients. Now, not all of them are going to give you big jobs. This was a painting job. It took me about 7 days to do it because I did it myself. I didn't hire help for this because I wasn't that busy or I wasn't doing anything else. And it worked out perfect for me. And once again, this is the power of having a list. You can retarget your audience to get more repeated business and to keep expanding. You can offer your list. Incentives to refer you to their friends and family and continue to grow it on the regular basis. Now, how I track my list is pretty straightforward. I keep things as simple as possible. I hate complicated systems, and that's why I love advertising and local advertising. Even though I do advertise on other platforms, it took me a while to really understand them and how to use them correctly. And it took me hundreds of dollars to get to where I am right now of making $0, actually, thousands, to be honest with you, thousands, that I'm a little embarrassed to say that it took me to actually really be able to get response and get business through Facebook, to get response through Google, to get response through other companies. I mean, Yelp worked great for me for a previous business. I had a valet parking company in Los Angeles. I used Google and Yelp, and I was able to get a pretty good amount of clientele using them as well. But once again, you're going to spend a lot more money. You need to have stronger copy, and it's just going to be more expensive, being flat out honest with you. And if you're going to use Facebook, you need to learn how to target people. You need to have solid copy. You need to learn how to set up an ad, which should be easy, but realistically, it's not. I can tell you this from personal experience. I don't know how it's been for you, although the algorithm is getting better, it's getting more user-friendly. over 90% of ads are not successful, and the numbers don't lie. It's not as easy as they claim it should be. So with this purchase, you should have got this form right here, which is a simple Google Sheet. And I use Google because everybody has a Google account. If not, it's free. You can open it. You can download it, print it, and modify it to your business. And this is how I'm able to keep track of my customers. Pretty straightforward. Customer name, the day you did the work for them, any notes. Once again, if you know a birthday, anniversary, if a customer is a doctor, has an office, you can target them in those areas. Their email, you can send them the receipts. You can send them the receipts. You can create, I'll show you how to create receipts. I'm not create receipts on with this course, but or the system, but if I don't, I do have videos that I have created. You can always message me and I can see video. I use Canva to templates, and it's super easy. I just put my information and change it, add my numbers, and just download it and send it over. It's a PDF form. So you can get their emails this way. If you're working for them, more than likely you already have their address, unless you're doing some kind of Zoom service. Then you probably don't, so you won't be able to target them this way. But sending Christmas cards is always a good touch. Very affordable. You send them to their address from your business and their phone number. In chances are you already have this too already, their address and their phone number. Now the last section here is how I keep track of them. When was the last time I touched base with them? I sent them an email, or it could be an email, a text, or anyways, what was the last time you communicated with them? And it's right here. And the thing about emails, you can actually send more emails versus texts or phone calls to their personal phone. Emails, they won't delete you and they don't get as annoyed, and you'll still stay front of mind. But text, you have to be a little more sensitive towards it, because you start getting a random text throughout the week. Then that might, I haven't had an issue personally because I don't abuse it, but I have heard of other people sending too much and people have gotten frustrated with it. I only measure about four times or six, less than that. You don't need that. You don't need to have like a whole year right here. You just need to know the last couple of times you touch base with them, so that if you forgot, you can touch base with them again. This shit is, you should have gotten it. You should be able to download it. If not, please communicate with me. Send me an email, send me a message through Facebook. I did not be able to right now. Now on the bottom, you'll find a couple of different sheets, and they're all the same thing, but this would be for your cold leads. Just click on it and you can put all cold leads. The cold leads are people that you heard might need business, or if you purchase a list from someone, or you heard somebody might need your business, but you haven't had that warm introduction, they become your cold list, and you want to add them right here. Now, potential clients, a warm list, this is someone that you were referred to and you haven't done work for. They are a warm list because you have a referral, and somebody, or actually, if somebody like put a three-way communication and you didn't get to do any work for them, if you touch base, if they call you from your ads, but you didn't do any work for them, once again, this will fall under the category. Now, on the bottom left, you have your current clients, which is list. And the reason why it's your hot list is because people are more than likely to call you versus another stranger if you did a good job. And like I mentioned in other videos, if you want to know how to win friends over and influence people better, I would highly recommend the audiobook. It's a free audiobook on YouTube. You can listen to it while you drive or while you're getting ready in the mornings. It's from Dale Carnegie, and the title is How to Win Friends and Influence People. You want to put that information on. If you're too busy, I mean, I highly recommend it's your business. You can do it while you work, just to start learning strategies that you implement, so that you can actually give better service and stay in front of mind when it comes to dealing with customers. And it's not that difficult, but if you don't know, you just don't know. For some people, it's easy to be the people and to stay in front of mind. To some people, it's difficult. But even the people who they're great, such as myself, I thought I was great. I still learned so much from that book. So anyways, that's pretty much all that I have for you on this course. With this lesson, you should already have the sheet to track your clients, the knowledge of which clients to put into your list, and the knowledge as to who to target, how to target them on a regular basis. So your next mission, should you choose to accept it, okay, the next step will be to start growing your list. Put out everyone that you have on your phone right now, start transferring them to this list and keep them. Because if you ever lose your contacts from your phone, if anything ever happens to your phone, or God knows I've lost my contacts on more than one occasion, you would not lose this list. This list is very powerful. People pay, like you saw Facebook, billions of dollars for a list. Obviously, we're not at Facebook level, but I know my wife's doctor recently retired, and he sold his list to a new dentist, And I know what the price was, but I know for sure it wasn't pretty sure it was hundreds of thousands. This guy had been in business for over 40 years. But anyways, that's just a basic way how big corporations have been growing their business, and they become from small companies to giants. And this has been going on for decades. And I did not really know this basic, simple knowledge, simple, basic wisdom that can potentially grow your business. You now have the knowledge of the advantage method adjacent with the evergreen client growth blueprint. Combined, you should be able to scale your business to the point where you can have business year, even scale to the point where you can start hiring people, and you can start allocating certain sections or certain cities to one of your helpers, another city to another helper, so that you can start making money and cherry picking the best jobs. Make money for getting the best jobs, and then you can make a little money for having people working for you. And at the end of the month, you will be making a lot more money, and you can scale your business as much as you want to. You can go to different cities, you can hire people in different counties, you can go to multiple cities, just like probably depending where you live in the world, where you live. I'm targeting the US through my ads. So depending where you are, the nowadays have hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people. The closest city to me is Detroit, and I get a lot of business from there. I don't get a lot of clients, but I've gotten a couple of doctors from there. I've gotten a couple of corporations that have hired me, a couple of apartment owners that I've actually get a lot of business from, and they're all in Detroit, which is pretty great. But look at your cities around there, target wherever you think you can get the most clients, grow your list, and start reaching out to them on the monthly basis. If you have any questions, feel free to message me once again. You can message me through my email, or you can message me through Facebook, join my group. You can message me through Messenger directly. Have a great day.